Hello, this is Coach Constance. So today we are going to look at the special moves that we have in chess. We have three, which is castling, pawn promotion, and then en passant. So I'll start with castling. We have two types of castling. There's queenside castling and then there's kingside castling. So on the queenside castling, you castle where normally we put the queen. So which is moving to the king 2 squares to the right, and then the rook jumps over. That's how you castle. On the kingside castling, it's still 2 squares to the left, and then the rook jumps over. So when you are playing chess, normally you develop the pieces, and then when the back rank is cleared, the knights and the bishops are out, that's when you can castle, and the queen, that's when you can castle. So for example, white starts, you play e4, there's e5, knight c3, knight c6, knight f3, knight f6, bishop c4, bishop c5, d3 and d6, bishop g4, bishop g5, the queen on d2, queen on d7. So now both sides they are cleared. So white can decide to castle, either go on the queen side or the king side. So we castle the king side for white, the queen side for black. So now the second thing we're going to talk about is pawn promotion. All the pawns starts on either the second rank or the 7th rank. For white, it's the second rank. For black, it's the 7th rank. So a pawn at the beginning can move 2 squares forward. So a pawn moves 2 squares forward for white. So from a2 to a4. As it goes forward, let's just assume there are no pieces on the other side. It will move 1 square forward until you reach the 8th rank. So when a pawn reaches the 8th rank, you can decide to put either a rook, a knight, a bishop, and a queen. If you have a black bishop, a white bishop on the board, and then you promote the pawn on the 8th rank, which is a8, you can't put another white bishop. So you have to decide which other piece you can put, because you can't have 2 bishops on the board. You can put a rook, you can put a knight, you can promote a queen, but you can never promote a king or leave a pawn on the square on its own. The way it is now is that when a pawn reaches the 8th rank and then you leave it like this and you press the clock, this automatically becomes a queen. So you can just remove it and put the queen as replacement. So if you had ideas of putting the rook, that idea has been put away. It's no longer a rook, it's a queen. Same applies for black. Black can move from e7 going all the way up to e1. If a pawn reaches on the other side, it's the same issue. You promote any of the pieces which are this side. Then the other thing is en passant. En passant, it's a French word that means in passing. So a pawn moves from d4 to d5. Someone moves a pawn from b2 to b3. Then the same pawn is moved to b4. So the pawn which is on c2, immediately it moves from c2 to c4. It moves 2 squares at the beginning. Black can decide to capture the pawn on c4. This is how you capture a pawn on a passant. The pawns have to be alongside each other for you to capture it. And you have to capture it in an immediate, otherwise if you've already made another move, you can't capture, which means that move has been cancelled. So en passant, you capture when a pawn moves forward, and then you capture. Only at the beginning, when the pawn moves from c2 to c4. You can't capture when it's from c4 to c5, because this is just 1 square. It hasn't bypassed your pawn. It has bypassed it from c2 to c4. This is why you can capture it. That's all.